Jacques Derrida, a towering figure in 20th century philosophy, fundamentally reshaped the landscape of critical thought. Born in El Biar, French Algeria, in 1930, his early life was marked by the complexities of colonial identity and the intellectual ferment of post-war Europe. He became the progenitor of deconstruction, a method of critical analysis that challenged the very foundations of Western philosophy and literature. Derrida's work is often characterized by its intricate, dense prose and its relentless questioning of established meanings. At its core, deconstruction is not destruction, but rather an uncovering of the hidden assumptions and hierarchies within texts and concepts. He argued that Western thought has historically been dominated by logocentrism, the belief in a primary, self-present origin of meaning, often associated with speech. This logocentrism, Derrida contended, privileges speech over writing. Seeing speech as immediate and authentic, while writing is considered secondary and derivative. He sought to reverse this hierarchy, demonstrating how writing, with its inherent deferral and difference, is actually foundational. One of Derrida's most famous concepts is difference, a neologism combining to differ and to defer. Difference highlights that meaning is never fully present or fixed. It is always deferred and constituted by differences from other signs. This concept challenges the idea of a stable, transcendental signified, suggesting that meaning is perpetually in motion. Derrida also introduced the notion of the trace, which refers to the indelible mark left by something that is absent. Every sign, he argued, bears the trace of other signs from which it differs and to which it differs. This interconnectedness means that no sign can ever be fully self-sufficient or entirely present. Deconstruction often involves identifying and dismantling binary oppositions, such as speech writing, presence, absence, male-female, or nature-culture. Derrida showed how one term in these pairs is typically privileged over the other, creating a hierarchical structure. By deconstructing these binaries, he aimed to expose their arbitrary nature and the power structures they uphold. His early work, particularly of grammatology, laid the groundwork for these revolutionary ideas. In this seminal text, Derrida meticulously analyzed the history of writing and its relationship to speech. He argued that the Western philosophical tradition, from Plato to Rousseau, has consistently marginalized writing. Derrida's influence extended far beyond philosophy, impacting literary theory, critical theory, gender studies, and post-colonial studies. His ideas provided new tools for analyzing power, language, and representation. Critics often accused Derrida of relativism or nihilism, claiming his work undermined objective truth. However, Derrida consistently rejected these interpretations, asserting that deconstruction was a rigorous, ethical practice. For him, deconstruction was not about denying truth, but about understanding the conditions of its possibility and its inherent limitations. He emphasized the ethical responsibility inherent in every act of reading and interpretation. Derrida's concept of hospitality also became a significant ethical concern in his later work. He explored the complexities of welcoming the other, the stranger, and the implications for national identity and sovereignty. His writings on justice and law further demonstrated the ethical dimensions of deconstruction. Derrida argued that justice, unlike law, is always yet to come, an infinite demand that can never be fully realized. This perspective challenged conventional understandings of legal systems and their claims to absolute authority. His work on the gift explored the paradoxes of giving without expectation of return, questioning economic and social reciprocity. Derrida's engagement with psychoanalysis, particularly Freud, also informed his understanding of the unconscious and textual layers. He saw the unconscious as a kind of writing, a system of traces and deferrals. The concept of archewriting, was central to his critique of phonocentrism. Archewriting refers to a more fundamental form of inscription that precedes and makes possible both speech and conventional writing. It suggests that all experience is structured like a text, marked by difference and deferral. Derrida's methodology was not a set of rules, but rather a strategic intervention into specific texts. He often chose canonical works of Western philosophy and literature to demonstrate his approach. His readings were always meticulous, paying close attention to the nuances and contradictions within the text. Derrida's work challenged the very idea of authorial intention, arguing that a text's meaning is not solely determined by what the author intended. Instead, meaning emerges from the interplay of signs within the text and its relationship to other texts. This opened up new avenues for literary criticism, moving beyond biographical or psychological interpretations. Derrida's concept of iterability emphasized the repeatability and citational nature of language. Every sign, when repeated, carries with it the trace of its previous occurrences, but also acquires new meanings in new contexts. This idea further destabilized the notion of a fixed, original meaning, get. His lectures and seminars at institutions like the École Normale Supérieure and the University of California, Irvine, were highly influential. Derrida's engagement with political philosophy, particularly regarding democracy and sovereignty, also evolved throughout his career. He questioned the very foundations of political concepts, revealing their inherent contradictions and exclusions. The concept of aporia was crucial to his understanding of undecidability. An aporia is a point of impasse, a moment where a text or concept reaches an undecidable limit. Derrida argued that these moments of undecidability are not weaknesses, but rather opportunities for ethical engagement. His work on the animal challenged anthropocentric views and the traditional philosophical separation between humans and animals. He explored the ethical implications of how humans define and treat animals. Derrida's later work also delved into questions of religion and faith, particularly in texts like Acts of Religion. He approached these topics not from a theological perspective, but through the lens of deconstruction, examining the language and structures of religious discourse. His concept of messianicity without messianism explored a universal hope for justice that transcends specific religious doctrines. Derrida's writing style itself was often seen as an embodiment of deconstruction. His use of neologisms, puns, and etymological explorations reflected his belief in the inherent playfulness and instability of language. He challenged the idea of a transparent, neutral language, arguing that all language is inherently metaphorical and rhetorical. Derrida's work on the archive examined how institutions collect, preserve, and control knowledge. He showed how the act of archiving is never neutral, but always involves choices and exclusions. The Maldarchive, archive fever, described the compulsive drive to archive, but also the inherent impossibility of a complete archive. Derrida's concept of hauntology explored the way the past continues to haunt the present, particularly in political and social contexts. This idea challenged linear notions of history and progress. He argued that promises made in the past, particularly those related to justice and equality, remain unfulfilled and continue to exert pressure on the present. Derrida's work on friendship explored the philosophical tradition of philia and its political implications. He questioned the exclusionary nature of traditional concepts of friendship, which often limited it to certain groups or individuals. His later interviews and public appearances often clarified and contextualized his complex theories for a wider audience. Derrida's legacy continues to be debated and reinterpreted by scholars across various disciplines. His ideas remain a powerful force for critical inquiry and intellectual provocation. The impact of deconstruction on postmodernism and post-structuralism is undeniable. Derrida's work encouraged a skepticism towards grand narratives and universal truths. He taught us to read texts not for what they explicitly state, but for what they implicitly conceal or defer. His philosophical project was a relentless pursuit of the unthought, the unspoken, and the marginalized. Derrida's influence on architecture, particularly through figures like Bernard Tschumi and Peter Eisenman, led to deconstructivist architecture. This architectural movement challenged traditional notions of form, function, and stability. His ideas also resonated deeply within legal studies, particularly in critical legal theory. Derrida's concept of undecidability provided a framework for analyzing the inherent ambiguities and contradictions in legal texts and judgments. He argued that every legal decision involves an act of interpretation that cannot be fully grounded in pre-existing rules. This challenged the positivist view of law as a purely objective and rational system. Derrida's work on forgiveness has explored its paradoxical nature, arguing that true forgiveness must forgive the unforgivable. This concept pushed the boundaries of ethical thought, moving beyond conventional notions of reconciliation. His writings on mourning and memory explored the complex relationship between loss, remembrance, and the spectral. Derrida suggested that mourning is not simply about overcoming loss, but about living with the trace of the departed. His philosophical journey was one of constant self-questioning and intellectual rigor. Derrida's work remains a vital resource for anyone seeking to critically engage with language, power, and meaning. He passed away in 2004, leaving behind a vast and challenging body of work. His ideas continue to provoke, inspire, and challenge new generations of thinkers. Derrida's approach to philosophy was not about providing answers, but about asking better questions. He taught us to be suspicious of apparent certainties and to embrace the complexities of interpretation. His work is a testament to the power of rigorous textual analysis and philosophical inquiry. Derrida's concept of the supplement further complicated the relationship between an original and its edition. He argued that the supplement is not merely an extra, but something that both adds to and completes the original, while also revealing its inherent lack. This challenged the idea of self-sufficient origins and pure presence. Derrida's engagement with the work of Emmanuel Levinas, particularly on ethics and the face of the other, was also significant. He explored the infinite ethical demand presented by the encounter with the other. Derrida's work on The Secret delved into the nature of hiddenness and revelation. He argued that the secret is not simply something that can be revealed, but something that inherently resists full disclosure. This perspective complicated traditional understandings of truth and transparency. Derrida's concept of the event emphasized the unpredictable and singular nature of occurrences that disrupt established structures. He explored how such events challenge our ability to categorize and comprehend. His work on the university critically examined its role as an institution of knowledge production and dissemination. Derrida questioned the university's claims to neutrality and its relationship to power. His concept of the monster explored figures that defy categorization and disrupt conventional norms. These monstrous figures, for Derrida, often reveal the limits and anxieties of our conceptual frameworks. Derrida's engagement with art and aesthetics was also profound, particularly his writings on drawing and painting. He explored how art, like language, is always marked by difference and deferral. His work on the signature questioned the stability of identity and authorship. Derrida argued that a signature, to be a signature, must be repeatable, yet each repetition is also a unique event. This paradox highlights the inherent tension between sameness and difference. His concept of the gift of death explored the ethical implications of sacrifice and responsibility. Derrida's work on the name delved into the power and limitations of naming. He argued that names, while seemingly fixing identity, also carry with them a history of deferral and absence. His philosophical project was a constant negotiation with the limits of language and thought. Derrida's influence on contemporary philosophy is immeasurable, shaping debates in continental philosophy and beyond. He challenged us to think critically about the very tools we use to think. His work remains a testament to the enduring power of philosophical questioning. Derrida's concept of the undecidable is not a call to inaction, but an imperative for ethical decision-making in the face of uncertainty. He taught us that true responsibility emerges precisely at the point where certainty falters. His writings on the political explored the inherent violence and exclusion within political systems. Derrida's work on The Secret also touched upon the political implications of hidden information and state power. He argued that the very possibility of politics relies on a certain degree of secrecy and non-transparency. Derrida's concept of the monster also had political resonance, representing those who are excluded or deemed abnormal by society. His work on the gift also had political implications, questioning the nature of economic exchange and social contracts. Derrida's philosophical project was a continuous effort to expose the limits of Western metaphysics. He sought to demonstrate how concepts like presence, origin, and truth are already contaminated by absence, difference, and difference. His work on the traces is fundamental to understanding this contamination. Every concept, for Derrida, carries the trace of what it is not, what it excludes, and what it differs. This makes any claim to absolute purity or self-identity inherently problematic. Derrida's concept of the frame explored how boundaries and contexts shape meaning. He argued that the frame is never external to the work it frames, but an integral part of its meaning. This challenged traditional aesthetic theories that separated the artwork from its context. Derrida's work on the animal also extended to questions of language and communication. He questioned the anthropocentric assumption that language is exclusively human. His concept of the spectral further complicated understandings of presence and absence. The spectral, for Derrida, is not simply a ghost, but a persistent, haunting presence of what is no longer or not yet fully there. This idea had profound implications for political theory, particularly in relation to justice and memory. Derrida's work on the promises explored its inherent futurity and its ethical demand. He argued that every promise, by its very nature, is a commitment to an uncertain future. This challenged deterministic views of history and progress. Derrida's concept of the secret also had ethical dimensions, particularly concerning confession and responsibility. He explored the paradox of revealing a secret, which, in its revelation, also creates a new secret. His work on the gift also touched upon the ethical implications of generosity and self-interest. Derrida's philosophical project was a profound meditation on the nature of language itself. He showed how language is not merely a tool for conveying pre-existing meaning, but a dynamic force that actively shapes our reality. His concept of difference is perhaps the most iconic representation of this idea. Derrida's legacy is not without controversy, but its intellectual impact is undeniable. He forced us to confront the inherent instability and ambiguity of meaning. His work continues to be a touchstone for critical thought in the humanities and social sciences. Derrida's concept of the undecidable is a powerful reminder of the limits of human reason. He taught us to embrace these limits, not as failures, but as opportunities for deeper ethical engagement. His writings on the political also explored the tension between universal ideals and particular contexts. Derrida's work on the archive highlighted the political nature of memory and history. He argued that history is not a neutral recounting of facts, but a selective construction. His concept of hauntology is particularly relevant in understanding this construction. Derrida's philosophical project was a lifelong commitment to questioning, challenging, and re-evaluating. He left an indelible mark on the intellectual landscape of the 21st century. His ideas continue to resonate, offering new ways to understand our complex world. Derrida's work on the gift of death also explored the relationship between sovereignty and sacrifice. He questioned the ethical implications of absolute power and the demands it places on individuals. His concept of the secret also had profound implications for individual autonomy and collective responsibility. Derrida's philosophical project was a relentless exploration of the limits of representation. He showed how every act of representation is also an act of misrepresentation or partial representation. His work on the frame is crucial to understanding this dynamic. Derrida's engagement with art and aesthetics also explored the relationship between presence and illusion. He argued that art, by its very nature, plays with these boundaries. His work on the signature also had implications for the concept of authenticity. Derrida questioned whether an original, authentic signature could ever truly exist outside of its iterability. This challenged traditional notions of originality and uniqueness. His concept of the gift of death also explored the relationship between life and death. Derrida argued that the decision to live or die is always already intertwined with the decision of the other. His philosophical project was a profound engagement with the human condition. He taught us to embrace the complexities, contradictions, and undecidabilities that define our existence. Derrida's legacy is a testament to the power of radical thought and intellectual courage. He remains a pivotal figure for anyone seeking to deconstruct the world around them. His work continues to offer invaluable insights into the nature of language, truth, and ethics. Derrida's concept of the traces is a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. He showed how nothing exists in isolation, but is always already marked by its relationship to others. His philosophical project was a profound challenge to anthropocentric biases. Derrida's work on the animal is a key example of this challenge. He encouraged us to rethink our relationship with the non-human world. His concept of the spectral also had ecological implications, particularly concerning the haunting of past environmental destructions. Derrida's work on the promise also extended to ecological responsibility and the future of the planet. He argued that we have an ethical responsibility to future generations, a promise that transcends our immediate concerns. His philosophical project was a continuous act of opening up new possibilities for thought. Derrida's legacy is a testament to the transformative power of critical inquiry. He remains an indispensable guide for navigating the complexities of the contemporary world. His ideas continue to illuminate the hidden structures of power and meaning. Derrida's work on The Secret also had implications for privacy and surveillance. He explored how the desire for transparency can paradoxically lead to new forms of control. His concept of the event also had political implications, particularly concerning revolution and social change. Derrida's work on the university also explored its role in shaping political discourse. He questioned the university's capacity for self-critique and its potential for resistance. His concept of the monster also had ethical implications, particularly concerning the treatment of marginalized groups. Derrida's engagement with art and aesthetics also explored the relationship between beauty and truth. He argued that beauty is not simply a superficial quality, but something that can reveal profound philosophical insights. His work on the signature also had implications for intellectual property and ownership. Derrida questioned the very notion of original ownership in a world of iterability and citation. This challenged traditional understandings of creativity and originality. His concept of the gift of death also explored the relationship between freedom and obligation. Derrida's philosophical project was a continuous effort to deconstruct the illusions of presence and immediacy. He showed how meaning is always mediated, deferred, and constituted by difference. His work on difference is the ultimate expression of this insight. Derrida's legacy is a testament to the power of sustained philosophical inquiry. He remains a crucial voice for anyone seeking to understand the complexities of language and thought. His ideas continue to challenge, provoke, and inspire new generations of critical thinkers. Derrida's work on The Secret also had implications for trust and betrayal. He explored how the act of keeping a secret, or revealing it, fundamentally alters relationships. His concept of the event also had ethical implications, particularly concerning responsibility in moments of crisis. Derrida's work on the university also explored its ethical responsibilities in a globalized world. He questioned the university's role in promoting justice and equality on a global scale. His concept of the monster also had global implications, particularly concerning xenophobia and othering. Derrida's engagement with art and aesthetics also explored the relationship between form and content. He argued that form is never merely a container for content, but actively shapes and constitutes it. His work on the signature also had implications for collective identity and historical memory. Derrida questioned how collective identities are formed and maintained through acts of signing and witnessing. This challenged essentialist views of identity and history. His concept of the gift of death also explored the relationship between self and other in moments of ultimate decision. Derrida's philosophical project was a continuous effort to rethink the very foundations of Western thought. He showed how concepts that seem natural and universal are often historically contingent and culturally specific. His work on logocentrism is a prime example of this insight. Derrida's legacy is a testament to the power of intellectual courage and relentless questioning. He remains an essential figure for anyone seeking to critically engage with the world's complexities. His ideas continue to inspire new forms of critical analysis and ethical reflection. Derrida's work on The Secret also had implications for political transparency and accountability. He explored how the demand for absolute transparency can paradoxically undermine democratic processes. His concept of the event also had ethical implications, particularly concerning the responsibility to respond to the unexpected. Derrida's work on the university also explored its role in fostering critical thinking and intellectual freedom. He questioned the university's capacity to resist external pressures and maintain its autonomy. His concept of the monster also had pedagogical implications, particularly concerning the education of the other. Derrida's engagement with art and aesthetics also explored the relationship between originality and repetition. He argued that every repetition, even of an original, creates something new. His work on the signature also had implications for personal identity and self-representation. Derrida questioned how we construct and present ourselves through various forms of signing. This challenged stable, essentialist views of the self. His concept of the gift of death also explored the relationship between finitude and infinity. Derrida's philosophical project was a continuous effort to expose the inherent undecidability at the heart of all meaning. He showed how meaning is never fully present or graspable, but always in motion. His work on difference is the most profound articulation of this insight. Derrida's legacy is a testament to the power of intellectual freedom and critical engagement. He remains an enduring inspiration for anyone seeking to question, challenge, and transform the world. His ideas continue to shape the intellectual landscape, offering new perspectives on language, power, and ethics.